Well, we're into the Christmas season now, and while people are out shopping for that last minute gift, I thought now would be the perfect time to add a little fright to everyone's holiday cheer. And what better way to do it than with one of my personal favorite tales from the crypts, titled, And All Through the House. We begin with a little Nat King Cole, and what has to be one of the best Christmas songs ever produced. Now let's have a little listen.
Chestnut.
A husband and wife are enjoying a nice little fire, some Charles Dickens, and a little Christmas music. It really can't get any better than that. Huh, I wonder what the wife is planning to do with that fire poker.
What are you, deaf? I said let me have it.
Well, that doesn't evoke the Christmas spirit. Alright, maybe they didn't have the best relationship, but I'm not sure driving a fire poker into his skull was the best idea. In the midst of all the commotion, their sweet little girl wakes up saying she saw Santa and wonders why her stepfather didn't wish her a good night. Okay, so he's not her actual father, but if this woman is willing to murder her current husband, then that begs the question, just what happened to the previous one? The wife also tries to cover it up by saying he's sleeping, which you may scoff at, but I have an uncle that falls asleep at every family get-together standing up, and sometimes with his eyes open, which is kinda creepy.
Honey, I don't think even Santa could wake up your stepfather.
The little girl asks her mother to open the window for her because she's hot, and then asks her mom what she wants for Christmas, to which she replies she already got it. We get quite the twist when the wife calls her side piece, informing him that it's been taken care of. She murdered her husband for his money, and now the two of them will be set for life. Let's see if this comes back to bite her in the ass. Now she has the arduous task of somehow getting rid of the body.
Jesus, Joseph. How many times have I asked you to lose some weight?
I don't think she took this part into account when she devised her plan. Just as she's carting him out the door, a news report comes on over the radio of an escaped mental patient in the area that has already killed 4 women, and oh, he's dressed as Santa Claus. Now, if only she had heard the report and remembered that her daughter did say that she saw Santa Claus. So her plan is to dump his body in their well, but I would assume over time his decomposing body is going to contaminate the water, so hopefully she doesn't rely on it. He briefly comes back to life, which actually startled me, I'm not gonna lie, but that doesn't last very long. See that axe though? Well, it quickly pulls a vanishing act, but where could it have gone? Suddenly the wife hears some jingling in the distance. Huh, could it be? Oh, it's Santa alright, and it looks like the wife is on his naughty list. He comes right at her with the axe, but a nice sharp icicle and a kick to the groin helps give the wife just enough time to run back inside the house. Santa has a thing for blondes, however, and isn't about to give up. Well, he kind of has to momentarily when he takes an axe to his arm.
Give me your location, ma'am.
My location? It's...
Oh, well, it looks like she's in quite the predicament now, doesn't it? She calls for help, but now if the police show up, they're gonna find her husband's body, and eventually the murder is going to connect right back to her. So she can't exactly call for help now, can she? Santa gets what Santa wants. Unfortunately for Santa though, he takes the butt of an axe to the face, which knocks him out for a bit. But this weak-ass IKEA window shutter should keep him out. The wife then gets a call from the police, who warn her of the crazed lunatic in the area. Now she's in real trouble because her husband's body is still outside, and an officer will be in the area to check up on her within the next 20 minutes. So she has to figure out something and figure it out quick.
Oh no, officer. I didn't kill him. Santa did it.
Now she has the perfect alibi. She can just blame the whole thing on the escaped mental patient. It should be smooth sailing at this point. Well, it would be if she could actually hit her husband. Seriously, she swings and misses twice. This is quickly becoming a Looney Tunes cartoon. Well, 3rd time's the charm, but as soon as she hits him, she gets locked out of her house. To make matters worse, she loses her keys in a hole in the front steps. Her daughter wakes up thinking she heard Santa, but all she finds is the comical body imprint where the crazed Santa was laying. The wife finds the extra set of keys on her husband's body, but now she has to prepare herself because it's time to act.
Yes, he killed my husband!
Give me your location.
My location?
Hello?
Uh-oh, looks like the axe she just put in her husband's face is missing. Oh yeah, the Santa definitely took it. She gets back on the phone and the operator asks her if she has anything she can protect herself with, and that's when she remembers her husband's gun. But like a dummy, she somehow removes the doorknobs off. This is quickly turning into a Three Stooges bit.
Oh my god! Carrie's window!
Looks like Santa's found another way in the house, through the little girl's window. Although he does have an axe and could easily chop through the cheap window shutter, but I digress. Her daughter has zero survival instincts and reaches for Santa's hand, completely unaware of the danger she's currently in. Also, how the hell is this little girl going to pull a grown man through her window? Mom finally escapes from the closet, but her daughter is missing. Well, until she hears her calling from downstairs.
I told you Santa would come, and he didn't even have to come down the chimney. I let him in.
And it looks like they're all dead. Except the Crypt Keeper makes sure everyone knows that this Santa only likes older women, so the little girl will be just fine. Well, except she'll need tons of therapy after watching her mother get hacked to pieces, but otherwise just fine. And all through the house can be found within the pages of Vault of Horror 35. The cover art features a shocked woman who receives a casket from her loving husband on Christmas, while he readies up an axe behind her, possibly because of her non-stop nagging. Pencils and inks for the cover were both done by Johnny Craig, although it's unknown who did colors. The story and All Through the House was written, penciled, and inked by Craig, along with colors by Mary Severin and letters by Jim Roten. The story follows a woman after she has killed her husband with a fire poker. Realizing her daughter is awake and could come downstairs at any moment, she rushes upstairs and assures her daughter Santa is coming, but she'll need to go back to bed or he might not. The woman was in no rush to get rid of the body. She had planned this whole thing for months, and in this moment, all she could think about was the insurance money. She turned on the radio, humming along and singing Christmas carols as she cleaned off the fire poker. As she was about to leave to dispose the body, an urgent message comes over the radio. A homicidal maniac has just escaped from the mental hospital and is extremely dangerous. He's already killed 4 women, but will only attack men if provoked, and is of no threat to children. He's also dressed as Santa Claus. With this thought now weighing on her, the woman has a dilemma. She has to get rid of her husband's body, but what about the crazed man on the loose? She figures if she's quick, everything should be okay, especially since the man won't harm her daughter. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Peering outside, she sees the red costume with the fluffy white trim. The woman rushes to call the police, but hesitates because they'll find her husband's body. The crazed man attempts to get inside by going around back, but the woman quickly runs and locks the back door before he can. Hearing his footsteps as they crush the snow beneath, she fears he may come in through a window and starts to lock them all. But that's not enough. What if he breaks the windows? Then he would surely come in. The woman remembers her husband was always buying up pieces of lumber, so she runs down into the cellar to retrieve them. She's torn though. She still has her husband's body to contend with, and now she has to board up the windows. The windows become her main focal point, but after a pounding on the back door frightens her, she once again picks up the phone. But with sweat pouring down her face, she remembers that if she calls the police, then they'll surely find the body. The woman finishes boarding the windows and drags her husband's body into the closet, but then a terrifying thought crosses her mind. What about the attic? The woman rushes up and finds everything to be secure. With that off her mind, she checks on her daughter, who is now missing from her bed. The woman checks the closet and under the covers, but no sign of her daughter. That is until she hears her calling from downstairs. She makes it to the top of the stairs, and there she sees her daughter holding the hand of the crazed man. Look, Mommy, look! Santa Claus is here! I let him in! Both versions of And All Through the House are really fun. There is actually a second adaptation of the story that was part of the 1972 horror anthology film Tales from the Crypt, and that one is really good as well. Reviews from viewers seem to be middling for the most part, but I'm not sure why. There isn't a ton going on in the episode, but it's a brisk 22 minutes and gets going right off the bat. There's a little shout out to the co-creator of EC Comics, Bill Gaines, when the announcement comes on over the radio.
Police and sheriff's departments in the Gaines County area.
And another to Al Feldstein, who was one of the most prolific writers, editors, and artists for EC Comics.
Yes?
Mrs. Kamen, this is Sergeant Feldstein at the Pleasantville Police Station.
And speaking of Bill Gaines, director Robert Zemeckis and producer Joe Silver went to Gaines for advice when they began working on this episode. Bill worked closely with the two men, and it was actually Bill that suggested the wife just scream her head off at the end of the episode. Marshall Bell plays the husband, and for what little he has to do, he does a good job. I mean, he's mostly just playing a corpse, but when he first gets hit with the poker and his wife is trying to pull it out of his head, it always gives me a chuckle. He's a good character actor that's been in like a million movies and TV shows, and I guarantee you've seen him in something. Some of his more well-known roles are General Owen from Starship Troopers, George from Total Recall, and because of what half of my channel is devoted to, Colonel Calvin Henderson from the X-Files episode Fallen Angel. Mary Ellen Trainor played the wife, and she does a good job 1 second thinking she got away with the perfect crime, and the next fearing for her life because a psychopath is trying to kill her. She was married to director Robert Zemeckis at the time, which was one of the reasons why she was cast. But she also worked on a lot of Joel Silver produced films, so it was pretty much a no-brainer to have her involved. She's been in a ton of great 80s and 90s films like the Lethal Weapon series, Die Hard, and even a cameo in Ghostbusters 2. Unfortunately, she passed away May 20th, 2015 at the age of 62 years old, which is just too young of an age for anyone to go. For the crazed Santa, they hired character actor Larry Drake. Larry must have crazed psychopath in his blood because he would also play another crazed murderer in the horror film Dr. Giggles. He does a great job and really does come across as someone that just escaped from a mental hospital. Larry was best known for his role as Benny Stolwitz in LA Law, and he too is sadly no longer with us, passing away March 17th, 2016 at only 66 years old. And all through the house is a great Tales from the Crypt with lots of Christmas imagery. Check it out if you're in the mood for something fun and campy. I would love to know what you think about the episode, so share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you're having a nice Christmas season if you celebrate, and if you don't, well, I hope you're just doing well overall. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next Tales from the Crypt.